whatever your situation is. All right, so let's dive into it. It's the 4 steps to save your marriage. And as always, I want to make this a very interactive experience, not just a monologue of me talking at you, but a dialogue here. So the best way to do that is to use the chat. Go ahead and answer the polls that we're going to do. We're going to do some live exercises together. So make sure you weigh in and let me know where you are at, because I can go deeper into those things in our time together based on where most of you guys are at, okay? So it's not just about information here, it's about transformation. It's about getting some real, tangible results, all right? And I'll show you how we've been able to help tens of thousands of students, just like you guys, all around the world to save their marriage with our PATH method that I'm going to talk about today. So I want to know right off the bat, what is your situation? My team member Diego here is going to launch a poll for us, and I want you guys to weigh in and let me know where exactly you guys are at, okay? And then I'm going to have Coach Linda is going to be coming on here in a little bit as well to help with the chat to answer all your questions and make sure that you guys get that transformation today, all right? So yeah, divorce is couple A, divorce filed. Maybe your spouse already has a lawyer, maybe they filed for divorce, maybe you're talking about divorce, but you want to know what to do to get them to stop the divorce and how to get back with you forever. Couple B would be no trust. Maybe there's affairs going on. Maybe they've had multiple affairs. Maybe you've had multiple affairs, or there's just lots of trust issues that are going on in your relationship. And then C would be communication challenges, right? Maybe you can't talk without arguing. Your spouse doesn't believe what you say. Maybe they just won't open up. They avoid the deeper communication. Yeah, Lyle, B and C. Yep, absolutely. That's definitely a challenge when there's multiple things going on there for sure. Seth, you also say B and C. Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you guys for weighing in. All right, what I'm seeing here is, yeah, Susanna, all 3. Cindy, husband filed for divorce and is having an affair. Okay, so you've got A, B, and probably C. I got that going on there. Awesome. All right. Yeah, Bradley, welcome. You were already working with Coach Shane here. Awesome. Enjoy the master classes. Glad to have you here. Maybe you can weigh in some of your perspective of your journey as you've been going through this process. That would be super cool. All right, so I'm going to end the poll here. So thank you guys for sharing that. And we've got 29% of you are divorce filed. 65% of you are saying no trust, affair. And then 6% of you are saying no communication. So, and then a lot of you are talking about all of the above. Giovanna, I see that. Yeah, all of the above, A, B, and C, A and C, all of that. All right, and Linda's just joined us here, Coach Linda. She's a fabulous coach. She's going to be helping you guys over in the chat because I can't always see everything as I'm doing this live with you. So she's going to be answering your questions and making sure that you guys have an awesome breakthrough today. So sweet. So go ahead and let her in. And I want to give you guys a gift here, and go ahead and put that in the chat, please, of our 7 proven conversation starters. Okay, some of you have been to a masterclass before, and some of you have already gone through this training, and you know how absolutely valuable it is. This is, we normally charge like $47 for a training like this, but I want to give it to you guys today as a thank you for coming, because honestly, guys, it says something special about you, that you're here, that you're willing to work on things, that something inside of you says, I need to give this a shot. Maybe everyone else around you is saying, give up, you should just move on. Maybe your friends, your family, your pastor, your therapist, the self-help book, right? The YouTuber, whatever, is all saying you should just move on, or you should just work on yourself. And you're like, I'm here because I really want to make this work. So go ahead and get the 7 proven conversation starters guide, because you guys are the one that put in the work. You guys are the ones that are our best students. And I want to reward those action takers here. And you can just fill out this quick form, and then you can start to use these 7 conversation starters right away with your spouse. I know for me, I've been married almost 16 years with my husband, Ben, and we have 8 children together. If you guys follow us on Facebook or anything, or over on YouTube, we have 8 children together. And in our 16 years of marriage, we've definitely seen our share of ups and downs, right? And when our relationship is struggling, he's kind of the one that puts up the walls and tends to withdraw and stone walls, right? And I tend to be the one that pursues and tries to get him to open up. And so with that being said, this is a powerful way to make sure that you get conversations opened with your spouse in a powerful way. So you don't just get those one word answers, but you're really able to get a conversation going to build some understanding, like we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So awesome. Go ahead and grab that. I encourage you guys to use that right away. All right, now I want to start with another exercise. I want to ask you to ask yourself these questions, okay? Question 1, where do I want my marriage to be 3 months from now? Where do I want my marriage to be 3 months from now? Yeah, let me know. Put it in the chat. That's awesome. 2, how will it feel to have my spouse in love with me again, committed to me again, us feeling safe and secure, for them to have ended the affair? And I want you to go a little deep here, okay? And so with that, just go in there and really figure out, like, what would it feel like to have my spouse come home at the end of the day? Cindy, what is it like to be back together? What does it feel like to talk about anything at the end of the night? What kind of conversations would you have? How would you embrace each other? How would it feel when you go to sleep at night, right? How would you feel when you wake up in the morning? How would it feel when you're at work and you're able to actually focus on work, right? It would give you your life back, Cindy says. So really dig into this. It's really important that before we start any journey, we know where we're going. And that's what I want you to do. Seth says back to normal, back to somewhat normal. It went away, come back. And it would mean the world to you. Yeah. Grant, trusting and loving, and it would be completely different feeling, and it would be fulfilling. Lyle, be back home with her, the feeling I think would be indescribable. So maybe you're separated right now. Lyle is what I'm getting from that. And so to be back home and to feel like you're together, right? Paul, it would feel amazing. I'd have my partner in life back for my kids and I. Rick, I want to be back with her. It would be amazing. I would be ecstatic to have the opportunity to show her how much I love her. Susanna, back to normal. Didn't work when we didn't know better. I want him back, but both committed and working through it. Exactly. I wouldn't feel empty. So you'd feel whole, you'd feel complete. All right, this is really important here. If you don't decide where you guys want to go, and maybe some of you are struggling with this, like you're like, I don't even really know. Like if you raise your hand, if you're like, I really don't even have an idea. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. I'm just trying to get through each moment. Like this is really hard for me, Heather, to even think about 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now. Yeah, thanks for raising your hand. I appreciate that. And that's some honesty there, right? And so if you don't decide where you're going to go though, then who will? Like who will? Is your spouse going to decide for you? No, like they're already making up their mind. They're already having an affair, or they're wanting a divorce, or they're wanting out, or they say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And so if you leave it up to them, is that going to get you where you want to be? Are they just suddenly magically going to come back to you and make all your dreams come true at this point? No, like I'm not here to paint a fairy tale for you guys. I want to be really real and really honest about what it's going to take here. You guys need to decide where you want to go. You decide where you want to go, and then we will help you get there. And I'll show you how we do that. Sound good? I love that, Ken. Thank you for weighing in. Kristen, Linda's answering your questions. Giovanni, thank you. Awesome. That's beautiful. So we are going to help you guys get to that place where you feel close, you feel connected, you feel like both of you are working on the relationship and it feels safe and it feels secure. So you guys need to choose that destination. I can't do that for you. No one else can do that for you, but you choose and we will help you get there. All right. Now, our big discovery, like I mentioned at the beginning of the class, we've been working with tens of thousands of couples. In fact, we have over, I believe it's 12 to 13, maybe even 14,000 active students on our Teachable course right now. And we found that there's one little thing that's a big reason why marriages are ending in divorce. I say it's something insane because literally, guys, no one else is even talking about it. They're not talking about it because they don't even know about it. And I'm going to show you what that is in a little bit. But I'm going to tell you what it's not before I tell you what it is, because there's some common misconceptions out there. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about that. So raise your hand if you've ever been told you need to work on yourself to save your marriage. It's super popular right now. I was told that and I believed it. And here's the bottom line, right? When people work on themselves, you ask them, okay, how are you doing working on yourself? And they're like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm working out. I'm getting into shape. I'm losing weight. I'm home more with the kids. I don't work as much. I'm more present with them. I listen, I understand more. I stopped drinking, I stopped complaining, I stopped neglecting my spouse, I stopped having the affair, whatever, right? I stopped whatever bad thing they said I did before, and now I'm doing all the things they said I should do now, right? Does that sound familiar? I meditate, and then we're like, okay, that's great. How is your marriage? And their face would fall and they would say, oh, we're still getting a divorce. Does that sound familiar? Really? Like, does it sound familiar? See, the bottom line is that working on yourself is good for you. It is. We're all about like personal growth and personal development. That's all really important. But in and of itself, working on yourself is not the solution for saving your marriage. In and of itself, it's just not going to cut it. If it were true, then everyone out there working on themselves would have incredible relationships already, and they would have incredible marriages, and they would not be going through what they're going through, right? If it was the solution. Do you guys agree? I believe results don't lie. So if it really was like the end all be all of having an amazing marriage, then everyone that's doing it, because everyone's usually working on themselves at some level, would already have a great relationship. So in and of itself, it's not the solution, okay? And that's a really common misconception. The solution is to work on changing your spouse's story and their beliefs about you. In other words, kind of like marketing ourselves to our spouse, okay? It kind of needs to go back to what my partner, Mark Johnston, he's our head marriage coach here, talks about, that we kind of go back to dating stage. And I'll explain what that actually looks like in the 4 steps here in a minute, okay? So our big discovery is that 98% of the time, our spouse has a story about us, right? They have a narrative about us, and they built up this belief about us over the past weeks, months, sometimes even years, which is justifying their reasons in leaving. So I want to know, what is your spouse's story about you? What is the narrative they have about you or the relationship? And here's some really common ones, right? Like, you just won't change, or I can see that you're changing, but it's probably just temporary. And if I come back to you, then you'll probably go back to the way that it was, and I don't want to be hurt again. So no thanks, I'm done, right? Or I can't trust you. You broke my trust. Once trust is broken, it can never be restored, right? How many of us have heard, I love you, but I'm not in love with you? I work with you guys on Facebook. I work with you guys on YouTube. I work with my clients all the time. And so I have like dozens and dozens of conversations about this every single week. And this one is so common. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. All right, we'll talk about where that really comes from and what it really means, right? What about, I need to find myself? We're better as friends. Maybe it's better for the kids. Maybe we're better to co-parents, right? We're in roommate mode. I can't be happy here. I don't get what I want. Yes, correct. Margaret says Bradley emotionally abused her in the past, doesn't trust. Now that she realizes what's going on, won't do that again. Okay. Seth, trusting me, no affairs, white lies, passive aggressive lies. Lyle, don't trust the changes, will be permanent and can't trust you anymore. All right, awesome. Thanks for weighing in there. Yeah, temporary change, love you, but not in love with you. We've done too much damage, better for the kids. Coming in so fast, awesome. Thank you. Said all the above, Giovanni. Beautiful. Incompatible. Yeah, we're incompatible. I never really loved you. We were never really meant to be together. I hear that all the time. So my friends, can you see that you're not alone here? Like, you're not alone. Everyone here has a spouse with a story about them. And here's the bottom line, that we have to remove that story or those beliefs, or they won't come back to you. They won't. We've gotten our clients really, really far in the past. And maybe you've even gone through other programs or counseling or therapy and made some progress. But then all of a sudden you hit this wall, and the wall that you're hitting is their story. And so what we do is help them let that story go. Yeah, Seth, they're like, how in the hell do I do that? Exactly. Well, we're going to talk about it. All right. Here's the old model though. I want to hammer this in because I really want to make sure you guys don't make this mistake. Working on yourself, improving yourself. Why doesn't that work? Going to therapy, going to counseling, talking to your pastor, doing self-help methods, all of these things, they take years. And even if you're able to do these things quickly, you're still in the state where you're hoping that your spouse notices, hoping that it's enough. hoping that everything you're doing is going to want to make them come back to you. But the bottom line is that then it's too late. It's too late because A, either they don't see the changes at all, or B, they just don't care. They see the changes, but they don't care because they're still holding on to that story. And that story is a defense mechanism that's protecting them from pain, or a justification so they don't have to feel as guilty about what they're doing because they know it's hurtful and they want to make it try to hurt less. And they don't want to feel the hurt that they're actually causing you. Does that make sense? All right, so here's the new model. What our PATH method does is it makes your spouse notice that there's something different about you. Remember I talked about marketing? What's the first goal in marketing? The first goal in marketing is we need to get someone's attention. We do not have time to waste. If your spouse is saying they want out, they're in love with someone else, they're not happy here, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, I want a divorce, you don't have time to wait. So we need to get their attention quickly that there's something different about you. And we look for the pause button. Okay, so pay attention to that because I'm going to revisit that point there in a little bit. The pause button. Okay, it's a powerful marker in this process. All right, and then after we've got their attention and we hit that pause button, your spouse hits that pause button, then over the next 2 months, 3 months, your spouse is going to want to get back together with you. They're actually going to want to spend time with you. They're actually going to be able to talk about anything again. You're going to build this deep level of connection and commitment. Okay. And then you have the time to improve yourself and to work on all those deep root issues that need to happen. Okay. Awesome. Excuse me. So our method shows them that you've changed without you even needing to say it. It's a simple 4-step process. You guys ready to dive into it? All right. First, like I said, we're going to get their attention, have them notice that there's something different about us and hit that pause button. Okay. Second, attraction. Now that we have their attention, we're going to build some attraction. So they actually kind of want to be around us and they want to have some fun with us and they feel like attracted back to us again. So instead of pushing them away, like magnets repelling each other, you're actually like the magnets are turned the right way and you're drawing yourselves to each other again. Make sense? It's a totally different way of going about it. If you feel like you're just, whatever you're doing is just for whatever reason, repelling your spouse further away. We got to stop that. We got to turn the magnet around so you actually draw together naturally, like when you were dating and when you were first falling in love, you were naturally drawn together. And that's what we do in the second step. And as you're naturally drawn back together, they're going to start to question the narrative, the story that they have about you. Then that brings us to step 3, connection, helping them let go of those root issues that they have about the story and see the possibility of being happy with us long-term. Because we're not here to just do short-term gimmicky type things that just don't work. We're here to do it long-term. Okay. Awesome. And then commitment. We replace their old story about us with a new one where they want to be with us. Okay. They actually want to be with us and they let the old story go completely and have a totally new narrative about you. Okay. All right. So how the process actually all works, and then we're going to dive into the actual steps. Okay. So using the PATH method, we take you with where you are. Okay. Everyone starts with where they are. And then we guide you step by step through different milestones. Okay. We do a deep root assessment I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And we determine, is there trust in the relationship? Yes or no? Is there respect? Yes or no? Is there an ability to communicate and give and receive feedback? Yes or no? And depending upon your health score of your marriage, that determines where you're going to go from there. Because not every relationship is the same. Some of you are saying, you know, my spouse is completely checked out, unwilling to work on with me and wants a divorce and thinks I'm the devil, right? And some of you are saying, we're actually like, we get along okay, but they just say they don't have romantic feelings for me. And so those two situations are handled in a different way. And so it's really important that you get custom help specific to exactly what you're going through and a step-by-step system That's the difference between what we do versus like watching YouTube videos or a self-help book. You read something like I've done Love Dare, I've done Love Languages, and you think, oh, that sounds really good. And you try it because you think it's going to like fix everything. And you have no idea if it's what's actually needed for your relationship. You have no idea. And more often than not, it's ineffective or it completely backfires, which is not what we want. And we're going to talk about why therapy often doesn't work as well because it just simply takes too long or it's totally ineffective as well. All right. So as we go through the root assessment, we determine, is there trust? Yes or no? Yes, go here. No, go here. We know exactly where to take you next. And like I said, if your spouse is pulling away, then we're going to want to hit that pause button so they're no longer running. Okay. All right. And that's what we're going to talk about here with the very first step, which is to get their attention. Because more often than not, you've been getting their attention in the wrong ways. And I say that with so much love, but also with tough love, because more often than not, I'm talking to you guys and you have such good intentions and you just honestly have no clue that the things you think are the right things to do are actually completely backfiring. And I don't want that for you because I know you're here because you want this relationship to work, right? So here, our goal with step one is to help them notice that there's something different about us. So they start to question their narrative about us. We get their attention. There's something different about Cindy. There's something different about Giovanni. There's something different about, Marjorie and Susanna and Seth. And Lynn, and I'm going through all your names here, Susanna and Bradley. And yeah, there's something different about Lyle. What is it? I'm curious. There's something different. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we get their attention, right? So we do not work on ourselves. We do not waste years in therapy. We do not guess at what will work. And we do not assume that we know what will work because guys, if we already had the answer, then would we be here today? No, if you already had the answer to your problems, then you wouldn't have problems. So we need to have a little humility. Like I just haven't known until now. And now it's time to learn some new things. If I learn some new things and do some new things in a new way, I'm going to start to get some new results, some different results, right? And we don't just freeze out of fear and do nothing because we know that's only going to let our spouse go further away from us. So the very first thing that we always want to do, and most people never do this, they never get this step. They're just kind of like throwing stuff at a wall, like darts at a wall. What's the saying? I don't know, throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks, right? And hoping that something works. And you feel like you're a mad person, like you're out of your mind. Like you're just like, I'm trying to do anything and everything I can to try to make this work. I know I've been there, right? And so raise your hand if you've been there too. And you're like, I don't even know what to do. So I'm just trying everything and hoping something works. And that's not a very systematic way about going through things, okay? So what we do is very different than that. We scientifically assess your marriage and we determine what the root issues and the perceptions are behind their story, okay? And here's the tricky thing. You know their story. And most of you can probably guess at what one or two of those deeper root issues are that have caused them to believe this. Here's the kicker. There's always one or two more that we're just completely unaware of. We have no clue that they're thinking that. We had no clue that that was going on inside their mind. Let's see if this is true for you. Raise your hand if you've been blindsided. You're like, I had no idea you felt that way. I had no idea you were having this affair. Yeah, a lot of you are raising your hands. Or you're saying, how could you think this about me? How could you feel this way? Where did the person I married go? I have no clue who you really are. I have no idea why you're doing this, right? If you are ever questioning who your spouse really is, why they're really doing what they're doing, or you've been completely blindsided, you thought everything was fine and it's really been awful for them for years and you had no clue. Susanna saying, yes, yes, yes. Cindy saying, I had no idea. Susanna, he's a completely different person right now. Then here is some clear evidence that there are things going on inside of them that you're not aware of. And that's okay, because you're not meant to be a mind reader. It's our job as your coach, as a scientist here, to scientifically diagnose exactly what's going on with them and then systematically prescribe the treatment that's needed to solve this. That's our job. We're the experts. We do this every single day. It's all we do. We're the ICU of marriages. All we deal with is this kind of situation day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out for years. and we've helped thousands of couples navigate it successfully. So that's why we're here, right? The expert to help you, because you don't have time to go to all the schooling and all the learning and all the things that we did to get to this point. You haven't worked with all these people. That's why we're here, so you can just relax, do exactly what we say, and know it's going to work. Okay. So unless we unearth all 4, sometimes 5, but usually 3 or 4 or 5, 3 to 5 of these root issues, then you're not going to get your spouse back. And that's why it's so crucial that we do this. As well, in the root assessment, we determine the health score of your marriage. It's kind of like taking your pulse, and we see how healthy and strong is this relationship. Can we push to solve some root issues right now, or should we wait? That's a big one as well. I often see people pushing to solve root issues. Therapists want to go in and solve all the root issues. But if your relationship is on its last leg, if your spouse is like 90% out the door already or more, then it is not the time to try to solve root issues, because the relationship simply isn't strong enough to handle it. And pushing to resolve these root issues is only going to make what's left of the relationship completely crumble. And that's not what you want. That's why it's important to get the right diagnosis from someone who knows how to assess it. And when you have the right diagnosis, then we can say, okay, here's your relationship. It's on its last leg. It's almost as if, relate this to like a medical analogy here, right? As if someone has a brain tumor, right? And you need to get surgery, but the patient comes in and they're having a heart attack. They're in cardiac arrest. Is it time to go do surgery on the tumor? No. Like, you got to get the patient stable first so it's healthy enough to handle the surgery. I hope some of you guys are having a big aha moment right now, because maybe you're saying, oh my goodness, I've been trying to do surgery, but we're actually in like cardiac arrest. My relationship isn't strong enough yet to handle these things. And in fact, me pushing to try to get them resolved is actually making it worse. How can you know that? Most people don't know that. That's why we're here to guide you and help you see the health score of your relationship, to know maybe we need to get this relationship stable first. We need to bring in some health into this relationship. And once we have some stability and some health, and things feel like we've got a foundation here, now we can go in and solve some of the deeper root issues. Yeah, Susanna, you said my relationship definitely isn't strong enough and you backed off. That's awesome. I see so many people and so many therapists, especially, pushing on this, and it only pushes your spouse further away. Okay. So now that we uncover what needs to be changed, what their beliefs and their perceptions are, now we know what needs to be changed. Instead of guessing, instead of throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks, we actually know what needs to be changed there. All right. I'm going to share with you guys one of our clients, Leah. Some of you may have heard her before. It's a beautiful story. Her husband was having an affair. A month before their first child was born, he was saying, I'm in love with another woman. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm not happy here. And I want to be with this other woman. I want to go marry her. And so she came to us a month before their son was to be born with this situation. Everyone was telling her it was hopeless. And we were able to guide her through this path process so that her husband was able to let the story go about her, that she wasn't supporting him emotionally, that she didn't really care about him, that she wasn't meeting his needs, and actually want to be with him. All right, you guys want to hear that? Awesome. All right, cool. Got some hands raised. Let me share that with you. Let me turn it up. There we go.
So my husband started cheating on me in November, and I found out in February, about a month before our son was born, and I was broken. I thought that I was never going to get through it. I felt like a part of me had died. And I didn't know what to do. And then one day, 3 months ago, I found an ad on Facebook talking about the program. And for me, it was a sign from God, because I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do anymore. I felt like all I was doing was walking in circles. And so I joined the program on my last leg of hope, and it made a huge difference in my life. Because of the program, I started doing more self-reflection, and I started working on me, and I started improving myself and bringing that to my marriage. And because of that, because of following the program and speaking my husband's love language and finding what my husband needed because of the help of the program, my husband and I can now say that we have been married for 5 years as of last week. And he's left the other woman, and he's focusing on his family, and he wants to have a future with me, and he wants to have a future with me and our son together as a family. And I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling knowing that I still get to spend the rest of my life with the love of my life. And some of you guys might be feeling like you're losing hope. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, when you feel like you are on your last leg, you aren't. You have more strength than you realize, and you can get through this, and you will get through this. Just keep doing the program, keep sticking with it, keep believing in yourself, and I promise you guys, you will see a difference.
So awesome. How many of you would love to be where Leah is? And now it's been several years since she was working with us, and now they have 3 children together, and they're so blissfully in love and so committed to each other. And I asked her, Leah, looking back, what was that experience like? And she says in her own words, it was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, but it's one of the best things, because we were able to look at all of the things that we weren't looking at before and create some new, some new skills together and learn how to work together as a team and how to problem solve and how to meet each other's needs. And it's completely changed our lives forever and our families' lives as well. Susanna says, absolutely. Awesome. All right. So now when we get their attention and they notice, there is something different here about you. What is it? Now we're going to create some attraction. And as we create attraction, then we're going to build up that momentum there so that they actually want to spend more time with us. You have some positive interactions, okay? As we get to this stage, it's really important that we stop doing a couple really common things. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I've done all of them. So tune in here and see if you can't have a big aha moment like, oh my goodness, I'm doing that. No wonder why. Now I know why my spouse is still pulling away. Now I can see how this really hasn't been working the whole time, right? Demanding that they work on the marriage. How many of us here are demanding that their spouse is working on the marriage with them? Like, you need to go to counseling, you need to go to therapy, you need to honor your marriage vows, you need to do this for the kids, right? Demanding that they, yeah, thanks for raising your hand. Exactly. What about manipulating? I'm going to take the kids, I'm going to ruin your credit, I'm going to wreck you financially. What about if you have an affair, then I'm going to go do whatever I want with whoever I want, right? These manipulation tactics to try to get them back, these scare tactics, right? And what about pleading, begging, acting out of desperation? Please don't go. Please don't leave me. Please give me another chance. Please, I'm begging you. Please, 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 right? And getting into that desperation. Or how many of us are just free of fear? We don't know what to do. We're afraid of doing the wrong thing. So we end up doing nothing, and our spouse just goes further and further away from us, right? And thinking that we just need to work on ourselves and that suddenly is going to get them back, right? These are some really common mistakes. And what happens is that they backfire or they're just completely ineffective. They push your spouse further away from you, which is not what you want, right? So what we want to start doing instead is actually validating them, validating where they are, increasing some understanding, okay? Because here's the deal, all right? Your spouse has his story, and whether it's true or it's not, or maybe it's a mix of both. Maybe it's completely true that they can't trust you. Maybe it's not true that they actually should trust you, or maybe it's a little mix of both. It actually doesn't matter. It matters to you. It matters to you a lot, but to them, it doesn't matter, because to them, this story that they've built up is true. They believe it. And when we actually validate that, I see that you believe this about me, or I see that you're having a hard time with this. I see that you're not happy here. That validation right there lowers the defense mechanisms. What most people do is that you become defensive yourself, right? If someone has my spouse, Ben here has a belief that I'm just super selfish and nasty and self-centered and bulldozing, and he never gets a voice, right? If that's his belief about me, then I naturally feel like I want to defend against it, or I want to prove that it's not true. But what happens when we step into that is then it just becomes us against them, and we're just butting heads. And we're not only just butting heads and becoming defensive and defensive and defensive and defensive, we're actually pulling further and further apart. And we're like those magnets that are repelling each other. What we want to do instead is actually see, where are you really coming from? Okay, increase the understanding, and that lowers their defense mechanisms. Remember, I talked about the pause button. This is all about the pause button. Okay, so we validate them. I see that this is where you're going, what you're going through. I see that this is true for you. Now, it doesn't mean that you're agreeing or saying that what they're doing is healthy or right, but you're saying, I see that this is true for you. And then we take the pressure off. We take the pressure off of them, take the pressure off the marriage, take the pressure off of you. When we take the pressure off, this is what's going to get their attention. You're going to get their attention, help them to hit that pause button, so they no longer feel like they have to keep running away because you've been chasing after them. They haven't felt safe, so they keep running away to create some distance because it feels safer to run. And so you continue to chase them. They continue to run further. What we want to do here is take the pressure off. And when they will notice, like when you take the pressure off, they will notice and they will hit the pause button. And as your coaches here, we look for that pause. That pause is powerful. You may feel like your spouse is calling all the shots. You may feel like you are completely powerless here. You may feel like you have no control over what's going on. That couldn't be farther from the truth. You have more control and more power and more hope here than you realize. You just need to start doing things in the right way. Okay, so take the pressure off, which causes your spouse to no longer feel the need to run further. They're going to hit that pause button. Then, as they hit that pause button and we increase understanding more and more, they're going to turn from away from you towards you. And they're going to be curious about what's going on here. Wow, Dawn is so understanding here. Lyle is so understanding. Margaret, you're so different. Like, I really feel like I can open up and share things with you and that you get it. And I feel like you're a safe place here and you've created some security here. What we're doing is we're reducing the tension. If there's a lot of tension between you right now, we want to hit that pause button, reduce that tension, increase some positive interactions, right? Meet both partners' needs, and then they're going to start to take some steps towards you. Those are the milestones that we look for as we're working with you in this process, okay? It not only gets their attention, but starts to build that attraction so they want to come back with you, okay? So we coach you on exactly what to say, on exactly how to say it, exactly when to say it, when to have that conversation, when to have this conversation, what to do when your spouse surprises you with this thing, right? And so as we do that, we get your spouse's attention the right way and we avoid some of those common mistakes, okay? I'm actually going to skip through this part for the sake of time, but I'd love to go into it at the end if we have some time. All right. So here's Monica's story. When she first came to us, her husband wasn't willing to work on the marriage at all. Sound familiar? Let me know. Your spouse isn't willing to work on it with you at all. They say, I refuse to do this with you. I refuse to change. I refuse to go to counseling. I refuse to go to a masterclass like this, right? You're not alone. So she followed the steps of our PATH program and was committed to saving her marriage, okay? And now her husband's telling her that he wants to work on the marriage. So let's listen to it in her own words. All right, Monica says, when he wants to work on our relationship / marriage, we both agree we have a long road ahead of us to repair and grow from what brought us to the brink of divorce. I am hopeful for our future and grateful for the guidance and mindset help I've gotten through this course so far. This is the first time since last January that my husband has made any declaration that he's willing to try. All right. So Cindy, Seth, all of you that are saying, yeah, my spouse won't work on it with me, this is where we get you to the point where they hit that pause button. They're no longer running away and they're actually willing to take some steps towards you again. Now, if you're in this place right now where your spouse may be willing to work on things with you, you're going to know a lot about what step 3 is. And if you've never gotten there yet, then just know that it's there for you in the future as you go through steps 1 and 2. Okay. So step 3 is where we start to build some connection. We help them let go of their root issues so they see the possibility of being happy with us again. The possibility, okay, not the commitment, the possibility. And that's a big distinction because this stage right here is amazing. It's beautiful, all right? You go from your spouse being closed off, volatile, blaming you, aggressive, angry, nasty, or just completely cold, apathetic, checked out, done, right? They go from that place to pausing, then to being curious about you, starting to take some steps towards you, to now step 3. And what happens here in stage 3 is that your spouse actually gives you the time of day again. There's no more arguments, there's no more stonewalling, and you can actually talk about anything. All the walls between you are now down. We've taken that tension, we've reduced the tension to a safe, neutral zone, and now we're building up some positive interaction to the point where they actually want to spend time with you. In fact, they often invent reasons to be with you. I was just talking to clients a couple of weeks ago, and she's an older client. They've been married, I believe, like 40 something years. She's like in her 60s. And she's like, he's helping me around the house now. They were separated, right? Not living on the same property. And he's coming over and helping with projects at the house. He was helping her with laundry. And she was like, it's really weird, but I really like it. It's weird, but I actually really like it. But he's creating these excuses to be around me. And we see it. And I love it. I delight every time my clients tell me that they're at this stage, that your spouse is just kind of hanging around or wanting to go on family trips together or, inventing reasons to spend time with you, which is a far cry from where most of you are right now, right? But it's amazing and beautiful when you get there, right? And it's huge progress. Here's the downfall. Here's where most people get it wrong, okay? Well, actually, no, I'm going to tell Cynthia how she opened up communication, turned her marriage around and got to this point. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about what the trick is that you don't want to get this part wrong because a lot of people do. But first, let's hear it from Cynthia in her own words.
I found you online. I don't remember how. I was skeptical. I thought, this costs a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like, do I really want to spend the money? And I thought to myself, wait a minute. My life, my marriage is that important to me that at this point, I'm like, I feel like I have to do whatever I can to help myself and to help my husband and to help us because I didn't want to continue going down that path, and I'm really grateful because, and the support materials, by the way, are really great too, like you have those videos and
Thanks.
yeah,
I like to think that.
it's very helpful. And, I really feel through this program that I'm so much more empowered and more confident. And, you can't control other people. Eventually, if he does say, oh, I want to leave, I don't think that's what he really wants. It's never what he really wanted. But I feel stronger now, I feel like I have tools and I have knowledge that can help me move forward in this relationship. And I learned that all from Linda, really.
And that's awesome because Coach Linda's here right now. She's been helping you guys over in the chat and I super appreciate that. All right, so she was able to go from a place where her husband not willing to work on things, totally wanting a divorce, to understanding what the root issues were behind his story, to the point where he was talking to her again. In another little video clip I have of them, she's talking about the love letters that he's writing her now and how grateful he is that she was willing to do this, even when he wasn't willing, because he's so happy to be with her and just, oh, it's so cute. They're so in love. All right, so what's the big mistake that I alluded to before? All right. So here in step 4, there's a big mistake that a lot of couples make, and I don't want you to make this one, okay? Our goal in step 4 is to replace their old story completely. When it's gone, and it's gone for good. Gone for good. Okay. Why? Because we've removed the root issues causing them to believe that. So that it doesn't just pop up or resurface 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, 12 years from now. No, it's done, and it's done, and it's gone for good. And we replace it with this new story that they want to be with us. Okay. But here's where people make a lot of mistakes. Okay. I talked about seeing the possibility of being happy with you. They're wanting to spend time with you. You can talk about anything, but the reality is at this stage that things can get pretty hard. Okay. I'm not here to paint a fairy tale. I'm here to give it to you real. Okay. In fact, most people, even some of our clients at this point, they want to give up and they think it's not working. Why? Well, what happens is that at this point, when your spouse is coming back to you and feeling like, yeah, I can see the possibility of being happy here, their story is going to come full force again. Okay. And they're going to give you a test. They're not consciously thinking about giving you a test, but they're going to test the waters here. They want to see if you're for real and if they can fully give you their heart again. And if they can fully trust you again, if they can fully commit to you again. Okay. We've identified there's about 12 tests most spouses put you through before they finally change their belief about you. And we'll teach you how to pass all of them, all of them. Okay. We've been doing this so long, we'll know what they are before they even show up. So say your spouse is saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. Okay. And you make all this progress. You get them to hit the pause button so they're no longer leaving. You get them to take some steps towards you with us, right? We guide you on that place to get there. And now they're wanting to spend time with you. They're seeing the possibility of being happy with you, but then they teeter-totter. They go back and forth. They're not sure. Why? Because of fear. Okay. That could be like a children's skipping thing. Just the way I said that right there. Yeah, but it's because of fear. There's something inside them that's afraid to let the story go. They're afraid to lower their self-defense mechanisms. Part of them really, really wants to give you their heart again. In fact, most of them at this point really wants to give you their heart again, but they're still hanging on to a little bit of that fear. And that fear is so powerful that unless you change their story completely, they're not going to come back to you. Don't need to worry. Don't need to fret. That's why we're here. We'll help you and prepare you on exactly what to do when their story comes back in your face. And we'll show you how to pass that test so your spouse will say, oh my goodness, I can let this go now. And they will feel it and feel it fully on every single part of their being, in their mind, their subconscious mind, throughout their entire nervous system. And they'll say, okay, I give you my heart fully again. I am fully committed to this. I know that this is exactly where we both want to be. And that is a powerful, beautiful place that you will get to when you do this. So I'm actually going to skip Silas's testimonial here. It's a super awesome one. He talks about being super skeptical, and he took that leap of faith and how that brought his wife back to him, even when she was unwilling to do it and said she couldn't get what she wanted out of the relationship. So I want to ask you guys, how good would it feel to replace overwhelm with direction? I'm so overwhelmed. Confusion. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea if this is going to work. I have no idea what's going to happen if we get divorced. I'm so afraid of being alone. I'm so afraid of what this is going to mean, right? All of those things with clarity. I know where I'm going. I know what I want to experience in this life, and I'm doing what it takes to get there. Fear and pain with hope and peace. Let me know in the chat, you guys. I see some of you raising your hands. Thank you. How good would that feel? You decide where you want to go. If you don't decide, who will? Do you guys want to live with clarity, with direction, with hope, and with peace? I know with every part of my being that life brings us challenges for a reason. We can either choose to sink from them and become victims to them and let life throw us about and our spouse throw us about, or we can choose who we want to be. And we can choose to learn from these things and not just go through an awful, hellish time, but to actually grow through it. And that is exactly what having a coach on your side with the right method gives you. Does that sound good? Cindy says, yes, very good. Seth says, darn good. I changed your word. Dominique, amazing, awesome. That is a powerful, powerful place to get to. And that is my hope and my prayer for you there. And Linda says, we have a lot of hope. There is more hope than you could possibly realize. Now, funny question. How many of you feel a little like this right now? I threw a lot at you. I went through the 4 processes. I told you how we want to get them to pause, to take some steps towards you, to want to be with you, and then to go through that teeter-totter effect. If I want to be with you, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with you, I might want to be with him. I want to be with you, I might want to be with her. I want to be with you, I actually might want to get divorced. 2, no, I'm fully committed to you. I want to be in your life. I want to be together for our entire lives, right? Exactly. We gave you hope. Exactly. How many feel a little bit like this? It's kind of a funny thing. It's like drinking water from a fire hose. If we had a way to keep the conversation going and I could show you how to apply this exact path process to your relationship, would you be interested? Do you guys want to keep the conversation going? I know some of you have some questions. You guys want to dive deeper in your situations? Let me know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome, Misty. We got you some hope. And Linda says that this works. Oh, heck yes, that's awesome. All right, let's dive into it. And you guys are raising your hands. Cool. So this is our Gold Marriage Coaching Program. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, how we as your coaches go through every single one of those milestones from where you are right now, your spouse unwilling to work on it, having this awful story about you, to the place where they let that story go and they want to be with you fully. All right, let's dive into it. The bad news is that we only have 6 spots left, and there's over 150 people. You know, we're going to share this on to our Facebook group as well. We've got 30,000 people actually in that group. So I imagine by the end of this week, there's going to be a lot of people that have seen this masterclass, and we do have our spots that fill very quickly. It's sad, but we're a very small team. We are looking to grow. We just hired a new coach, but we are a very small, intimate, close team that are the only ones that have this method that actually works. And so this process helps you save your marriage in less than 6 months without getting your heart hurt, even if your spouse isn't willing to work on it with you, even if they say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, even if they're having an affair. It's all the steps that we just talked about, every single one of those steps broken down into tangible exercises. Cynthia, the lady that I just shared a bit ago, talked about, now I feel empowered. Now I feel like I have tools. Now I have skills that I just didn't have before. And that's worth everything to me, right? And it takes you from exactly where you are right now, guides you through every single one of those milestones to where you want to be in your marriage, okay? And so that program, $100, 4 months long, all right? Now, we also have some incredible bonuses as a gift to you guys for coming to the masterclass today. So you want to know what it is. You want to make a good decision for your relationship. Something's in your heart is saying, I need to do something. I need to do something here and move in the right direction. So stay tuned and listen to what they are, because you guys are going to be blown away. All right. So only those who join the Path Marriage Coaching today are going to have access to these bonuses. They're never for sale anywhere else. You will not find them on our website. You won't find them on YouTube channel. They're here for you right now, the next 24 hours only, as a reward for you guys taking action. Okay. I only give them to my masterclass, you guys, right now, because you guys are our best students and I want this for you. Okay. So the first bonus here is our fast track one-on-one coaching to save your marriage in less than 180 days. So this is one-on-one coaching with us as your marriage expert to guide you through that, to do that root assessment, to uncover all the reasons why they're saying they want out, and to determine the health score of your relationship to see what the very next steps need to be. So what it is, let's break it down, okay? And if you have any questions at any point, let me know. I'm here to help you and make sure you have absolute clarity so you make the best decision for you going forward, okay? So it's 4 1-hour one-on-one coaching sessions a month with your marriage expert, your coach here. And that is proven, like I said, we've helped tens of thousands of clients now, proven to give you 10 times faster results. And that is typically worth $4,800 in and of itself, because we charge $300 sessions per hour. We are not a therapist. We are not the run-of-the-mill kind of thing. This works, and it works fast. And so if that's what you need, That's what the bonus is here, worth $4,800. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. $4,800. All right, so this is for those, especially if you struggle to stick with things in the past, especially if you're like, I have no clue what to do. I need to know exactly what to do here. Even if your spouse is checked out, unwilling to work on it with you, or you're just unsure if it's going to work for you. So we take the guesswork out of it. Guys, you just literally do what your coach says to do. And you have absolute confidence in yourself because you know it's going to work. I was just working with a client, I'll change his name to Tim, last week. I don't know what to do. I'm like, boy, this is what you're doing this week. All right. He did it. And guess what? His wife's talking to him. She hit the pause button. And that's a beautiful thing to see. I'm so excited. And Linda's so excited every time. And we know it works because we know exactly what to do there. All right. All right. So here in the one-on-one coaching, this is where you get feedback. We give you feedback on how you're doing with the path process. You're not left to do it yourself and try to figure it all out. And we give you that clarity, that direction on where you really want to go and how to get there, how to make course corrections if you get a little off, if your spouse does something surprising or unexpected, and how to stop unintentionally pushing them further away, how to draw them to you naturally like that magnet, right? How to open up communication, especially if they're not wanting to talk to you right now, how to have them actually want to spend time with you so you can relax and you know that everything's going to be okay. And you can say what Leah says, it's the best thing to know I get to spend the rest of my life with the love of my life. That is what we do, okay? All right, so your spouse warms up to you. They hit that pause button. They warm up to you. They start talking to you about important things, and they actually want to be around you and with you again. And you feel safe and secure knowing that your marriage is now where you want it to be. I know a lot of you guys talked about affairs. Over 60% of you talking about broken trust, broken affairs. Here's where we, as your coach, help you set some healthy boundaries that aren't going to backfire, but are actually going to heal the relationship and actually going to help your spouse end an affair in typically 3 weeks or less. So right now, if your spouse is having an affair, we typically are able to help you do that in 3 weeks or less, okay? I'm gonna skip this client story here just for the sake of time, but if you guys want more evidence or more proof, we have so many. It's just amazing, all right? Next bonus, all right. So we've got the one-on-one coaching. Now I'm going to talk about our group coaching that we offer for you guys as well. And this is 1 hour to restore trust group coaching. And that is worth $1,600 in and of itself. It's a massive value and it's your bonus today when you join. So what is it? Let's break it down. 1 hour group coaching sessions that fit your schedule. I know we talked about some of you guys are international. Some of you are in UK. Some of you watching the replay are going to be over in Australia, New Zealand. We have time zones or not time zones. We have group sessions available for all time zones to accommodate you no matter where you are. So you always get the answers you need when you need them. Okay. Here you get direction on how to apply the path process even more. And we check in to see where you are that week, how to respond to text messages, how to have a hard conversation, how to set a healthy boundary, what to do when your spouse breaks the healthy boundary, right? How to heal from the affair and how to get to the next milestone with your spouse. This is especially for those if you feel like everything I've done just hasn't been working. I need some help. I need some results and I need it quickly. It's hard to forgive or for them to forgive me. We've got some major forgiveness blocks. Let's work on that, right? I don't like getting stuck partway through something. I don't want to start something and then give up or not get the results, right? Here is an incredible community, guys. Okay. It's your coaches and it's other students that are going through this process as well. And their success, you get to get on the coaching call with people like Cynthia and people like Monica and people like Linda and people like Leah and Tim that I was just talking about. And their success will encourage and inspire you. They'll say, oh my goodness, honey, I was where you are. Or, oh my goodness, dude, to the other side of the spectrum there. Like, I was where you are. My wife is doing that same thing. And now we're here. Keep going. It's worth it. You will get there. I promise. I was exactly where you are. And look at where we're now. And you're like, oh my goodness, if they did it, I can do it too. And all I have to do is listen to my coach. And it's going to be freaking amazing. All right. And then you get to share your wins. and your wins and your wins and your wins, and your spouse will hit the pause button and they will want to spend time with you, and you will be building a deep connection and friendship. And then you will be sharing how they let their story go and how they're committed and how you're both trusting and secure and safe. And your wins are going to inspire others. What an incredible way for you to pay it forward. I cannot wait to hear your wins. I cannot wait to hear your successes. I cannot wait for you to be the light that someone else needed, because someone else is going through this too. And 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you're going to say, keep going, my friend. You can do it too. And that's an incredible gift to give other people that are going through the hell that you're going through right now. And you can show them there's heaven, there's light. Keep going. You're going to get there, right? All right. All right, so you build connection, receive additional support, and you get help at lightning speed. We're about doing what works and doing more of what works and less of what doesn't, and getting you results as fast as humanly possible. Now, little stat here, because we have so much data, we've done this so long with so many people, we have some stats. Our students that attend even one group session a month, they see their spouse warming up to them faster than those that try to go it alone, and they gain insights and have a healthier marriage long term. You're going to learn so much. It's amazing. Okay. Again, I'm going to skip Alex's beautiful testimonial here for the sake of time. If you want to see it later, I'm happy to share it with you. So we got bonus one, one-on-one coaching. We work with you one-on-one. We get you breakthroughs right away. We help your spouse let their story go. Bonus two, group coaching. You get to get on, be inspired by other people, ask even more questions, get more clarity, and share your wins with us. Awesome. Bonus three, all right, Rocket Reconnection training. I love this training. I cannot understate this training, okay? It gets you faster results in just 30 minutes, $588 value. What is this? Mark and I, Linda, the coaches here, we've distilled over 100,000 hours of training into 3 30-minute power-packed videos. And they give you the best and fastest methods to reconnect with your spouse. So imagine the path process on turbo speed, literally 2 times faster results, okay? And you can target your specific issue that you might be having with your spouse. Maybe how to end an affair in less than 3 weeks. We talked about a lot of you guys going through affairs. Less than 3 weeks, that affair is over. Then we start to heal and rebuild. 3 weeks, affair is done. No more other person, other man, other woman in their life anymore. 3 weeks, we'll get you there. Open up any conversation, how to forgive, how to heal past pain, how to deal with addictions, alcoholism. Clients going through that right now. Narcissism, midlife crisis, mental health challenges. If you're dealing with any of those, you just go to this vault here and you click that exact training, and with a click of a button, you have the answer you need in less than 30 minutes. You don't have to shift through hours of training videos. It's absolute clarity and get you the solutions you need easily and immediately. That gives you peace of mind, clarity, direction on how to handle surprising issues that may come up. They're going to come up. They're going to come up. Like, it's going to happen. Shock, right? Like, there's going to be something unexpected that comes up, and you're going to resolve that quickly and keep moving forward towards the relationship that you want. So instead of that being the thing that, boom, blows up everything for you, you actually are able to move forward. And in issues that took maybe months or years before are going to be resolved within a matter of hours. Okay? Super, super powerful. Again, another win from Nicole. I'm going to plow right through that because I want to honor you guys' time. But in addition to those 3 bonuses I talked about, the one-on-one coaching, the group coaching, the Rocket Reconnection training, I'm going to offer something today that's brand new. Okay? Extra bonus. If you join today, I'll add 4 30-minute SOS bonus calls. These are one-on-one calls that are normally $600 for free. And I want to do that to reward you guys as being an action taker here. So what is this? It's a session that you can claim with your coach if something unexpected happens. It's going to happen. Remember? Ooh, surprise, right? And you're going to get support right away. You're going to get exactly what you need right away from your coach and know exactly how to handle it, which helps you never feel alone or lost. You get immediate help to overcome your biggest challenges so you don't get stuck in them. And you don't give in to despair because there's more hope. You just need the right help to get there. Okay? And you'll be amazed. Again, issues that once took weeks or months to resolve are overcome in just a couple of hours. And that's what happens when you have the right method and the right support. All right. Again, another great story from Scott. I'm going to just skip it. But again, if you guys want to hear it, I'll go back to it at the end. All right. last thing that I'm super pumped about. This is awesome. This is brand new. Okay, this is brand new. We're just rolling this out. We are doing a 2-day virtual event for Unified Marriage Program. Okay, this is a $3,000 event. I have 3 tickets left. It's almost completely sold out. We're doing our first one in I think it's about 3 weeks from now. And this helps couples that are fully reconciled get to the next level of intimacy, connection, and happiness. So if you join today, you can get one of those last 3 tickets as a bonus. And this, guys, is when you're going to use it, is when your spouse is committed to you. So you do this program, just future pace this with me, right? You do this program. 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, your spouse is committed to you. They're in love with you. They want to work on this, and we get you there. And now you get to come to the 2-day Unified Marriage virtual event, a $3,000 event, and I'll give you one of those tickets to that. And it helps you get to even the next level of your marriage and ensure that your relationship stays strong long-term. It's powerful. It's incredible. We use some super geeky neurotech and it's amazing. Okay. And this ticket is valid for 12 months because I realize it's going to take you guys some time there to get there, but you're going to get there. And then you're going to come to the virtual event with me and we're going to get you to even the next level in your relationship. All right. And you have the opportunity to use them just as soon as you and your spouse are reconciled and you're both committed to working on the marriage. And that's where we're going to get you. And then I'm super excited to have you guys in that event. All right. So recap. Today, for joining, you get the Gold Path Marriage Coaching Program, $4,200, plus these bonuses that are never for sale or available anywhere else other than today, right now, as a gift to you guys for joining, all right? The Fast Track One-on-One Coaching to Save Your Marriage in less than 6 months. That's $4,800 value, bonus for free. Marriage Healing Group Coaching, $1,600. Rocket Reconnection Training for 2 times faster results, including how to end an affair in less than 3 weeks. $588 for free, and the 4 30-minute SOS bonus calls, $600 for free. And the first 3 who join, I only have 3 tickets left. I'm keeping it a really small, intimate group. So truly, there's just three spots, and there's only 6 spots total for the whole thing. But the first 3 who join will get a ticket valued at $3,000 to our 2-day Unified Marriage virtual event. That's a $3,000 value. So $14,788. But you can join today in the next 24 hours for $4,200 only. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this link into the chat. This is where you can join right now. Everything we just talked about. Okay. HighThriveLiveCoaching.com/gold. Thank you for sharing that there. And I'm going to click on it and go over there with you guys so you can see exactly what I see. Awesome. So here on this page, you'll see everything we just talked about. The 3 tickets that are left for the 2-day Unified Marriage virtual event, the 4 SOS emergency calls, okay, and every single bonus that we just talked about, our premium coaching gold program here. And again, we do only have 6 spots. I was watching the chat. I saw someone's going to join and I'm super excited for you. Congratulations. This is exactly where you join. If you want to join right now and get one of those last spots, you just click right here. Okay. So I imagine we will, yeah, Elizabeth, you might sign up. Awesome. That's super cool. Excited for you. All right. So here you'll see everything outlined. Do we have a payment plan? Yes, we do. You can pay in full $4,200 right away and get in and make sure you get one of those 3 tickets to the virtual event. Or you can do a payment plan here of $1,050 a month for 4 months. Okay. And we have all those bonus there. The Fast Track One-on-One Coaching to Save Your Marriage in less than 6 months, worth $4,800 in and of itself. The 4 one-hour coaching sessions a month with marriage expert for 10 times faster results. The bonus value of the Marriage Healing Group Coaching, that's $1,600. And that helps you get on there and you get inspired by the other students. They share their wins. They're like, oh my goodness, I was where you are. I was sitting on a masterclass just like you with Heather, and she was going crazy, but she's so excited. And it was, yeah. And so I joined 3 months ago, and now my spouse has left the other person, and now they're working on things with me. And I'm so grateful because, guys, you just simply might not have known the skills and had these tools and be able to do these things with your spouse to help them let that story go. But now you know exactly what to do because you followed exactly what your coach here told you to do. And now you're seeing the results and they're like, you can do it too. And then 4 months from now, you're going to be the ones telling the new guys, you can do this. It absolutely works, which is super powerful, right? The Rocket Reconnection Training I talked about, where you get the 3 30-minute power pack videos, 100,000 hours distilled down in just 3 30-minute videos, because it doesn't need to take a lot of time to save this relationship. It just needs the right method at the right time to get fast results as fast as humanly possible. And then of course, those 3 tickets were $3,000 each to the 2-day Unified Marriage virtual event. All right, extra bonus. If you join today, I'll add those 4 30-minute SOS bonus calls, okay? So it's worth almost $15,000, and today you can join for only $4,200. Now, I'm gonna go over to the chat and see what questions you guys have. Elizabeth's talking about joining. I believe we just had someone join as well, so we might be down to just 5 left and only 2 spots left for the Unified Marriage. I'm gonna ask Linda to unmute herself and answer any questions that I may have missed as well. I did have a question here, like, yeah, you know, money's tight. Like, I get it. Like, there's a lot that's going on, you know, so, you know, this sounds amazing, but money's crazy because I'm paying for 2 households, or I've got attorney fees. So we can help you save your marriage for less than the cost of your attorney fees, less than the cost of paying for 2 households, less than the cost of $30,000 for divorce. Divorce is expensive. It costs on average $30,000. Yeah, $4,000 is cheaper than retaining a lawyer. Elizabeth's talking, and you're probably talking from experience there, right? It's crazy expensive. And more people get divorced between now and New Year's than any other time. So I would love to see you guys like kissing underneath the mistletoe by Christmas, or, you know, kissing in the fireworks, then signing divorce papers at the end of the year this year, right? That's exactly what we want to help you get to. So Linda, thank you so much for helping me over in the chat. Thank you for answering everyone's questions. As you guys can tell that have been chatting with Linda, she is incredible, as all of our coaches are. Linda, have you seen any questions that we would love to address here for people right now?
Yeah, you know, I think people are bringing up some really good questions. And Heather, I'm loving my Friday afternoon coffees with you. So this has just been my pleasure. So there's been several things that have come up that I would like to address with everybody, is if they've actually moved in with their affair partner, what are the chances, you know, when the affair partner is going after somebody's money, the spouse's money. You know, the thing is, while you're still married, you're still in the winning column. You're still in the winning column because, you know, it's not over until it's over. And I think that that is a really important status that you have, even when the spouse is caught up in limerence. And when somebody is caught up in limerence, you know, they're basically brain impaired. That's what I call it, because they're just not thinking straight. They're all about instant gratification, and it really does have an addictive quality to it. So with all of that being said, addictions can be broken. And as coaches, we give you the exact words to break down that addiction. So several of us are addiction specialists, and limerence is nothing more than an addiction, because believe me, it's going to get old really fast. So I just wanted to, because there's a few people here whose spouses have actually moved in with their affair partners. And I've reconciled several couples who have had affair partners actually living with them and have gone back to the marriage. So I think I have been reaching out to everybody. Giovanna, you have a lot of stuff there. I think that you would do so well coming on board with coaching, because I do agree with you that I don't think that your husband does understand the divorce process. So he puts that on you, that you're coming after him, when all you're trying to do is just kind of protect yourself. Because if your husband says, okay, we're just going to do it ourselves, and there's a substantial amount of money, you're putting yourself at risk. So you got a lawyer. That's what somebody who cares about themselves do. And he's taking it the wrong way, but he does not understand the process. I agree with you. And for those of you with children, that increases your chances so much more when there's children involved, because that's the family, that is where the love is. That is where the spark is. And I think I have gotten to everybody's questions. The caffeine must be working really well for me today. And I haven't even been messing up my words, but give me time, it'll happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
so
some hands
I,
raised. Did you guys have a question? If you did, go ahead and throw it into the chat.
wait, I see a question. Okay, so we have one. Do you want to take this, Heather, or would you like me?
Go ahead.
Can a spouse overcome that limerence, and how do you break them out of the spell without pushing them away more? So limerence, like I said, is kind of almost like a drug-induced state where it's hard to get them to see how their behavior is so destructive on the family. And if you're constantly telling them, you know, you're ruining our family, how can you do this to our family? That's just going to make them want to medicate those bad feelings about themselves, which will, you know, push them into the arms of their limerence partner. But if you present yourself like, I understand why this happened, and these are the things that I am changing in myself, the way I communicate. Let me look at the narratives that you have put out there and let me change that narrative, which then creates like, oh, well, that's my wife and that's my family. And this is this. I think I'd rather have an intact family and go back to my family than just, you know, having these small needs get met over here. So you're actually breaking the addictive cycle without forcing it on them, but making it enticing to them. But then, you know, oh dear, here comes the grandchild and the dogs.
We work from home. You know, I think everyone going through COVID can understand that. That's awesome, Linda. All right. So,
which is why we have to use the path method in our marriage, because I'm like, hey, honey, do you think you could keep Leo and the dogs quiet from this period to this period? Yeah, no. So I can go out there and yell at him, or I could go out there and be compassionate that it's hard to control a 4-year-old. So I'm going to choose compassion versus jumping down his throat, which is what I would normally do. But I have an evolved marriage now. So it doesn't work when you jump down somebody's throat. It works when you approach them with understanding and acceptance, and make it a plan for next Friday to be a little bit different. So getting back to everybody else. So when you break that addictive cycle that they don't need the limerence partner, but they need you, that's when the limerence starts to break.
that's
Does that make
powerful.
sense?
Awesome. Yes. Let us know if you have any more questions about that. Anyone else? Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Linda. Awesome. All right. I'm just going to visit one common question that I get. I don't know if anyone said it here, but maybe something that you're thinking or feeling is like, wow, what if I do this and we still end up getting divorced? Okay. Because this is a part of the integrity that we have here at High Thrive Coaching, is that we always let you know if we feel like this is a situation that can be saved or not. Oh, awesome. All right. Someone just purchased gold there. Congratulations. I'm super excited to see you in that, and super excited to have you in the Unified Marriage Program as well, the virtual summit. You just got one of those $3,000 tickets. So that's awesome. I'll send that to you with the delivery team. Awesome. Congratulations. That's super exciting. All right. Anyway, so we will let you know in the root assessment if this is a situation that can be saved or not. And if not, then we will point you in the right direction, because that's really important. Some of you guys were talking about, I did see a comment over there earlier about not being able to communicate a lot. Like you haven't talked for 2 weeks. I believe maybe it was Elizabeth. Awesome, Maria, congratulations. That's so cool. That's awesome. So happy for you. You know, that you're not really talking to your spouse for the last 2 weeks because you don't want to push them. And I get that. So the bottom line is that we look to see how much hope there really is in the relationship and if the relationship can be saved. Okay. And one of the things that we look for in the health of the relationship and your health score, right, is how much communication is actually going on. If you have not communicated with your spouse for, you know, a year, if you haven't seen them at all, if you haven't seen them face to face, maybe you're living on opposite sides of the world, that's a situation that we cannot save, because you do have to at least see each other or have some level of communication. And kind of the common standard, it is case by case, but the common standard there is that if you're communicating once or twice per month, there's hope for you. And if it's more of a, I'm trying to give them space, but I have the opportunity that I could communicate with them, then we'll show you how to do that in the right way so that your efforts don't backfire and that you actually aren't pushing, right? You're not those magnets repelling each other anymore, but you're actually going to start to turn towards each other and start to draw each other back together again. Okay. So that's kind of the I don't know, the health score that we like to see there is that you're talking at least 1 or 2 times a month. Now, some of you might be talking about, hey, we're talking 1 or 2 times per week, or hey, we actually still live together and we talk every day. Even if you're just talking about the kids, even if you're talking about the divorce, even if you're talking about the affair, or you're talking about just business level, surface level types of stuff, there is incredible amounts of hope and opportunity there for you that you may not be seeing, but that we actually know we can turn around with this scientific process here, okay? And then I also just want to be really upfront and honest. More often than not, we are able to help you save your marriages. 95% of marriages can and should be saved, and they can be saved with this right method. However, there are still times, there are few, they're rare, but that your relationship still isn't saved. And so that's when I want to really ask you guys, is it worth it in and of yourself to do this? To do this so that you can learn some new skills, so that you can learn how to let their story go, right? So that you can learn how to have a healthy relationship, because these skills and these ways of being and looking at relationships and setting aside our fear and our pain and all the baggage, right, is something that we're not taught. It's not taught to us in school. It wasn't usually modeled to us by our parents. It usually isn't modeled to us by our friends. It's definitely not modeled out there in our culture, right? And so there are things that we just simply haven't learned until now, but we can give ourselves some grace about that we haven't known. And now we can learn them. And now we can completely transform our lives and our relationships. That's what drives me to do this. It's what drove me to create this program and to build this business to where it is now, because I see so many people that are stuck in pain, that are stuck in limiting beliefs, and they're stuck in the same patterns. And the reality is that when you learn that you can let those go, and you have someone that helps you go through that process, you can let those old stories and those old patterns and this old belief goes, everything changes for you. And that's what I experienced in my life. I went from thinking I wasn't good enough, that I would try really hard and I always fail people, and there's just something wrong with me. Like, people always leave me. I'm always going to be hurt. I really can't trust people. And I went from that kind of a place, with that affecting my marriage and that being the story and the lens that I saw the world through. I had really good intentions, but just a lot of junk going on inside my own head that was keeping me back and keeping me in a lot of pain and keeping my husband and my family in a lot of pain. And when I finally learned how to heal those things, then I learned that I am good enough. The truth of who we all are. Like, you are good enough. You are worthy. You are a piece of the divine. You can have a healthy relationship. You can have exactly what you said at the beginning you want to have, the kind of relationship that you want to have. That is absolutely possible for you. You hold that destination in your mind, and we help you get there. And when you get there, it's worth everything along the journey, because we cannot control other people. We cannot control other things. And so many times we're looking at other people to change so that we can feel better. We're looking for circumstances to change so that we can feel peace and we can feel happy. The reality is that everything you're wanting is actually inside of you. We just got to get the junk out of the way and clear a lot of those subconscious blocks that you've created to protect yourself from pain, or that's what life taught you, and to clear that away and uncover who you really are. And when you get to that kind of a place, you get to a place of peace and empowerment, that it doesn't matter what anyone else does. It doesn't matter if this relationship works or not. You know in your core of your being that you're okay no matter what. And that's what I was just working on with my client Tim the other day. Like, he now feels like, I'm going to be okay no matter what. And that in and of itself, to come at life with that kind of peace and that level of empowerment, is worth everything. And it starts to change everything for you. You no longer feel like you're in fear and desperation and trying to make things happen. You're no longer trying to force them to happen. You're allowing the good to come to you. And when things are still not ideal in your life, you still know that you are calm, you are centered, you are empowered, and you're okay no matter what. And that's a beautiful place to be at. All right, I saw a couple more chat coming in over there. Linda, did I miss any questions over here?
I wanted to speak to, I'm not sure if I'm going to have the name correct, so if you can bear with me, Nkechi. If I said that wrong, I do apologize. Described a traumatic event in their marriage, in their lives, where they responded by raging at each other, which is very typical of a traumatic event like that. So we take on individuals that do have coexisting issues. So yes, you can work on your marriage while you're working on your grief and loss issues. And while you work on your grief and loss issues, that will translate over towards your husband as well, because you will be able to model for him, appropriate responses, how you're letting go, what your anger looks like, and bring it down, into talking about pain versus anger. So we absolutely can work with people who have coexisting issues. And I think that for the two of you, working through this trauma together is going to, and I know it feels counterintuitive because you think it's just sent you to like two different planets, but working through this trauma together is going to give you just the most rock solid marriage that you can ever believe in. A long time ago, working privately as a coach, I coached a couple who had just like the most unbearable trauma. Like I hard to think about it. And I've never seen a couple closer than these two are, because we call it the thing, what happened to them. And so I ask questions like, well, is that related to, because I don't want to keep re-traumatizing them, is this related to the thing? And they both think about it and yep, that's related to that. Okay, let's talk about it in relation to that. How can we move your marriage forward when you're both suffering with the thing? So I hope that answers your question. And I have total faith in your marriage, because this is something that will bring you back close to each other, because who else understands it like you do? So I wanted to address that.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. All right. And then we had another question about the 45-day rule. This one's awesome. And I think you answered it in the chat, but I just want to bring it up as well. Told by a marriage counselor, there's a lot online about this. Yeah, you're asking about that. And yeah, we totally disagree with the 45-day rule of like no contact for 45 days to try to make them want you or miss you. And wherever maybe your therapist is coming at from that, this is one of those really common misconceptions. If he's reaching out wanting to have contact with you, then that's an incredible opportunity to actually heal the relationship. There's no magic number about 45 days of distance that's actually going to heal things. What we found is that more distance usually just creates more distance. There's a difference, okay, between not pushing and creating space, right? And distance. Distance in and of itself isn't actually a solution. It just creates more distance. So yeah, we absolutely disagree with that. And we do something completely radically different from that as well. I saw, again, someone joined my masterclass last week with the Halloween special. And so Brianna, I believe, are you still on here? We sold out of the Halloween special. So that is no longer available. That one is sold out, but we do have the program we talked about today. So we can talk to you about that, talk to you with your budget, and see what we can do there to get you going in the right direction. So super valuable as well going on here. But yeah, the Halloween one is sold out, just to answer your question about that one. All right, Linda, did you see anything else?
I didn't, but I wanted to let people know that if you want to reach out to me, I did leave my phone number in the chat. And if you want to talk about budgeting and how to get started, we have, I can put together a custom package for you that's going to work exactly for you. Chelsea, you're so cute. So Chelsea, leave me your phone number, hon, and I will put it back up for everyone. Here's my number.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you putting that there again. Everyone can go ahead and grab that in the chat if you want to ask Linda some specific questions about your situation. Maybe you're saying, this all sounds really great, but what about this? Okay, that's a great way that Linda can have a real conversation with you and answer those specific questions, as well as work with you if you have finances are tight and you want to work on things that maybe a lesser package that we might be able to put together for you based on where you're at. Of course, it won't include all the bonuses that I have right here, but we did have some join with that, which is also super exciting. But above all, guys, you guys decide where you want to go. Choose who you want to be in this life. Choose what kind of relationship you want to have. And we are happy to guide you along the way to getting to that destination. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Linda, for helping in the chat and helping all these amazing people. We truly look forward. Now I'm getting tongue-tied right at the end. We are truly looking forward to seeing your marriage thrive. So thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to talking again real soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Heather. Thank you.
Thank you.